Check the chat.
Scott the Beta King.
Woo! What's happening, people? Yes, welcome to another episode of Giants Rush, where we talk about how the Giants can lose another game for 52 weeks of every year. I'm kind of getting used to that, and I don't like it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got Joker in the building. We got Alex is in the building. I'm going to bring those guys in a second. We have a bye week. How many of you had an awesome Sunday? Everybody's raising their hand because you were like, no stress. I didn't throw anything into TV. You went out apple picking. You went to the park. You rode your bike. Maybe you worked out. Maybe you just sat around drinking beer, basking in someone else's misery. But whatever it was, the Giants didn't lose, which is a miracle upon itself. Let's bring in the guys. This is still one of my favorites here.
After that, shrimping was easy.
Alex, that's your intro. What's up, dude?
That's my I'm the shrimping is easy guy.
Yeah, well, only because I really couldn't find anything with like the crawfish thing. So it was like so it was, don't get me wrong, we can work on the opening, but it was the closest thing I could find, and I was like, that works for now.
That plays.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, man? How are you?
Kind of like you said earlier, it's been awesome not just being angry about my team, and like now I feel like we'll get into it, but we're a little bit freed. So I'm optimistic a little bit for the most part.
Let's say your blood pressure is lower. People in your house
slightly,
like you.
Yeah.
The family liked you again for another weekend.
A lot. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, like if the little one could talk, they'd be like, "Dad's so cool when he's not watching Giants." Let's bring in.
And here we go.
What's up, Sean? You got to put your mic on, dude. Turn the mic on first, and then you can say hello.
It didn't unmute me automatically. Hello. There we go.
What's up, dude?
What's going on? Alex, you like that opening, huh? You like that opening video from mine?
That was good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he liked his shrimping or not. But
I didn't hate it.
He didn't. He didn't like it.
After that, shrimping was easy.
I gotta tell you, it's funny every time I watch it.
I kind of want it to stay now. Now it has to be my.
Yeah, exactly. All right, gentlemen. you're hanging out here. We're doing the Giants Rush thing. It's a bye week, so we probably had a lot calmer of a weekend. Let's just start off. Let's see. Oh, I see you guys piling the rooms. I don't want to ignore you guys. I don't have a producer today. Zach is off helping some family move. So I am back to running it. So I want to make sure I get you guys. I see Dan, I see Bill, I see Cold, I see JT, I see Duke. What's up, West Coast? See you guys piling in the room. Thanks for hanging out with us. Lots to talk about. Let's get into it, guys. Whatever happened during this week, it was trumped by no pun intended. It was trumped by one specific line of thinking. Alex look at that. Alex comes up purple when he says that. 102 for.
Oh, because I'm doing it from a YouTube account.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm like, that's cool. All right. Yes, my man ate crawfish for 204 straight weeks. I followed along because I like the nutty things that Alex does. I just kind of hang out in the back of him. I don't want his head to get too big, so I don't want to be like, dude, that was awesome.
Right,
but behind the scenes, I'm like, that dude's awesome. All right. Topic. Tommy DeVito. Yeah. Is back in town, so to speak. First start of the 2025 season, and we can get into all the particulars about why and the money it saves the Giants so Jones don't get hurt and blah, blah, blah. Alex, thoughts when you heard DeVito was going to get the start?
Well, I mean, I first saw the Jones benching note and then was like, okay, cool. And then it took about 5 minutes before they're like, he's benched for DeVito. And that's when I saw Schefter posted that. I just assumed it was going to be Drew Lock. And I mean, I'm sure Drew Lock's a great guy, but just he doesn't bring anything that like near the vibes that Tommy DeVito does. And I'm not saying Tommy DeVito is the greatest quarterback of all time, but he gave us a little bit of hope last year. And if we can hang on to that a little bit, like that's the most hopeful I've felt this season, really.
Yeah. Interesting you say that too, because if we all want to think back, and we don't, but what we're going to run through that pain one more time. Last year, similar scenario, Jones is out, Tyrod's out, and then this cat that we kind of know who he is, right? And he shows up and he balls for a kid from that played at Illinois, and he's Rudy. And then next thing you know, he comes in and he pumps some life into the franchise. He pumps some life into the fan base. No one says he's the savior, right, Alex? No one's like, this is the savior.
Right.
But we won a couple games and it was fun, right?
Yes. And then it came crashing down and it was over and that sucked. But like we knew that was going to happen. And now we're just like, maybe we get 2 weeks of happiness out of him.
I got to tell you, I could go for 2 weeks of happiness.
And really, I know that like you want to tank. I know there's a lot of people in the tank mode, but like, if we don't win a game, but we win the Thanksgiving game, I'll be very happy. Like I will take that, and that's my loser Super Bowl. I'll just be happy if we can beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving with Tommy.
Yeah. Okay, and we're gonna get into. I see. Cold, you're digging it up. I see. Jay. Oh, what's up, Jay? I missed you. Popping in. All right, so let's start here. Alex sees it. Alex is excited. Hey, pump some life in here. Maybe we can have some fun the rest of the season. He didn't get any deeper than that. He just said we can maybe have some fun. We can be competitive.
It's a change.
Which I'm cool with. Competitive. Being happy. It's cold. We put cold up here. Being happy with mediocre play is baffling. Now, we'll get to that in a second. It's not baffling.
We're happy about not having an injury clause that's going to kick in where every time Daniel Jones ran against the Panthers, he's like, please don't die. Please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt. Please don't. Like, now I don't have that on Sunday. And that's pretty much what my excitement is from.
Or airmailing passes, throwing balls in the dirt. Like, that's what we're throwing it like 3-yard outs. Yeah, there we go.
Well, let's segue.
The passing Python is upon us, and in honor of the passing Python, some chicken cutlet here for the show tonight.
Nice.
There we go. All right.
Man, I love it. And you know what? Again, we haven't had a lot to look forward to over the last 2 years, so there's no guarantee he does anything. He might get blown up for all we know. But when you saw the announcement, Sean, what was your first impression? Not after you listen to the fan base whine, not after you listen to everybody just, create all that noise. What was your first impression?
Finally, and because I'm tired of talking about quarterback. Is that quarterback? So he's QB3, inactive. So yeah, it was relief, and I felt good because I just couldn't watch him anymore. I really couldn't. I really could not.
Whatever you say, you pissed off Alex. He just left the room.
No, I was getting a beer. You chill.
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't get the memo.
I didn't saw Craig with his. So
look, I'm sticking with the old Rush logo. I drink beer with skulls on it.
And honestly, like I think Daniel Jones is like a good dude. I think he's a nice dude. Yeah. He seems like he's done the whole like he's taken the New York media. He's taken all the crap that we've given him. So it's like I don't wish bad on him, but like he can't hurt me anymore now. And now I don't have to feel like bad where I'm like, I hope you suck and they take you out, but like please don't get injured and then ruin our next year too.
Well, we said right before the show came on, Alex, Sean and I talking, and I said, look, he has the right size, he has the right strength, he has the right speed. I could be in the minority. Like I do think he can throw a deep ball. It's what's between his ears that holds him back. And it's not that he's dumb. No one's going to convince me he's dumb or he can't. Right. It's the fact is that he just processes too slow. He's waiting for something to happen. And in the NFL, you can only fool people for so long. And we've had it for 6 years. But people, listen, and we can rag about the 6 years. And it's almost pretty, it's so old that we have to have these conversations. But, you're hurt 3 of the 6 years. So you really didn't see it. I would think, guys, if he started every game for 3 years, he would have been gone already.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If he started more games last year, he would have been gone. He wouldn't have been back this year. He was on that trajectory after the Seattle game, and then he got injured. So yeah.
So like putting a bow on that is like we're all like, okay, breathe a sigh of relief. We're moving forward. We're moving forward one way or another. I also guys thought like, all right, maybe it'll just be fun, competitive. Like if you're gonna lose, I want then at least it's competitive. Like I don't like thinking about what could be. You know what I mean? Like I'm like if the again I'll start with you, Sean. The point to DeVito is turning the page. Of course, there's probably some like they did with Russell Wilson last year in Denver. They sat him on the bench, so they didn't have to pay that fee that's attached to his contract, this injury clause. So all that comes into play. Sean, what happens if he wins? What happens if DeVito goes and rips off 3 wins? Every the noise is going to get so loud that listen, for the record, let's just be honest. DeVito is coming to win. He's get a job on another team or stay here as a backup quarterback. He is going to do everything to win, regardless of what the fan base wants.
Yeah, ahead, I mean, you said it. The fan. You asked me a question and answer it. So let me see if I can answer it now. No, the fan base is going to lose their minds because of the draft pick for one. But I mean, here's the thing with DeVito. He's getting evaluated. He knows it. They need to see if he's going to be a backup quarterback or if they're going to be done with him. If he's a backup quarterback, he's a less expensive than other people are out there. So this is solely an evaluation period for him, and he's not going to change how he is. Like he is confident. He's got that energy, and the team feeds off that energy. Now, again, whether he's got good quarterback play or whatever else, doesn't matter at this point. What matters is it's different, and he's being evaluated. You need to see what you have with DeVito. That's what matters at this point. It's not like we're going to rattle off, 7 in a row and then make the playoffs, right? Like you got to evaluate. You got to see what it just makes sense to have him play at this point. It really does. So yeah, he might come in and win a couple games because we saw it last year. The team was livelier. The players were more excited. Like it's just that energy he brings.
Yeah. You're getting the monkey off your back. Alex, like I mentioned, he's auditioning for whether it's the Giants or another team. He's definitely going to try to win. Cold is saying in the comments, we gotta be popping up on here because Cold stuff's always pretty funny. It says now we got to hear this shit for the rest of the season. Like,
I mean, but it's fine.
I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay.
Was that not fun last year? That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. Like, so and it's better to have fun than not have fun. None of us are having
because I've been
I mean,
miserable for
literally,
the majority of the Daniel Jones era.
I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
like, find somebody that says, I like what's happening, I'm having fun. If this cat comes in and he wins, yes, it's not gonna be ideal, but I don't know. I still like to see good football. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's
Yeah.
hard to watch bad football.
Well, and
So
also, I think Drew Lock had some incentives that didn't like that the front office was maybe like, well, we don't have to pay Drew Lock on that because I know that everybody was arguing that Drew Lock was maybe a better guy. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that at all, and I do think that part of it is evaluating DeVito as a potential, like, is he going to stay with the team? But also, I think it's like, let's not pay Drew Lock. We already gave him $5 million, and everybody's like, I don't like $5 million. I understand it's the NFL, but then like showing everybody's mad at like all that, but like I felt like people were just freaking out over $5 million today with the Drew Lock stuff. And it's like, we're really arguing second and third string quarterbacks right now. Like, we want it out. Now we got out. Now you shut up. Just shut up and just take what we got now.
and you know what?
It's a 1 year deal.
Hard Knocks kind of showed you that, right, Sean? Where it showed you like what quarterbacks were available. And like, I think everyone behind what they don't probably show you, from a production standpoint, is they're probably never going to show you the fact that they all liked Tyrod, but he couldn't stay healthy. So if Tyrod doesn't stay healthy, you really need to have a good third string quarterback, right? Like, because, like, paying Tyrod made some sense. It's just, I've said this before, and Tyrod's a cool dude. Very nice dresser, by the way. Got some good style, right? He's got that drip going all the time. However, the guy hasn't completed a full season since 2016. That's a long time ago. And the Giants really needed a guy that just was the backup quarterback. So at the time, it probably felt like, Locke was easy. And by the way, they signed him, no big deal, because it's $5 million. We're making a big deal over $5 million. It's not a big deal. It's just not.
And the Jets overpaid for Tyrod. The Giants wanted to bring him back, but the Jets overpaid. Imagine what the fan base would have done. If they overpaid for Tyrod, imagine what the Giants fan would have been saying. Like, it's
you can't
Craig,
win. Like, you can't win at all on Twitter.
Yeah, Craig, what's going on with the fan base, my man? I mean, we're here a couple times we've talked about the fan base. We brought them up and how they're going to go. And what is wrong with the fan base? What's going on with the fan base?
I mean, there's a lot of noise, man. A lot of noise. I mean, I don't think the fan base understands the employee boss dynamic. Like, I don't think they realize we put so much blame on the coach, the owner. I mean, we've given up on holding players accountable. Like, and the players need, he's got a voice, he's got a brand, he's got this. Yeah, okay, I get it. But it's an organization. You still are an employee. You still are out there, putting your best foot forward. And it's like this whole thing about like who's more important. It's still a boss employee dynamic. You're still putting in the work. You still have to respect the people that are making the decisions to put you in the right position. And we're out there just spitting out nonsense all week long about stuff. I mean, like we talk about the whole McLeod thing. Here's the problem with the McLeod thing. Not that he got cut. Guys get cut every day. The deal is that the damn reporter dug in somebody's backyard. It was a personal thing. McLeod's friends with Burns. You don't ask him personal questions on what he thinks because he's emotional about it. Then he winds up saying stuff. Then he's now the front office is pissed off at him because he's pissed off. Like we're just digging for more dirt, up from the fan base and the beat reporters. It's a nonstop, like it's like reality TV. It's just soap opera after soap opera after soap opera. So like the fan base, I think, is just off their rockers, man. Like I just I don't even know where it ends or how it ends, but we do need. I'm hoping that this quarterback thing turns the page and settles them down.
Yeah, winning for sure.
When you win, people shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's terrible right now.
I haven't done it since NAM, so like we don't know what that feels like anymore.
Drafting a quarterback will keep them quiet too.
Until the quarterback does an interception and then they're a bust. And then why did we waste a draft pick on that when we could have done this? And can you believe that Shane screwed this up again? Just another mess up in his whole long list of all. Like I know what the tweets are already. I've already seen this before.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
it
that's a
runs through my
really
head.
better
good,
with Daniel Jones. Like, well, shut up.
great segue with your impersonation and your rant is a great segue to the draft class. All right. How, just show of hands in the audience here. How many people have heard that this draft class is terrible and Shane has no idea what he's doing? Raise your hand. Yep, exactly. All right. Again, the clarity is there. I don't know what rose colored glasses or tinted glasses people are looking through. He has 5 rookie starters. Sean,
Yeah.
you see anyone else out there in the NFL of 5 rookie starters contributing, doing well?
Nope, not that I can think of. Absolutely not.
I mean, Alex, we could have an argument that we did not. Now, I'm not saying they're bad players because I like them both, but the argument is not Shane can't draft or he blew it again. That's not the
Right.
argument.
It can't be. It can't be
but-
this year.
Yes, but it is to the fan base. Fan base is like, Shane sucks. Shane doesn't know what he's doing. Shane's terrible. What has he done? Now, got 5 guys he drafted that start and contribute. Now, the argument could be, just saying could be, again, air quotes could be, that we needed a wide receiver 2 and a defensive tackle, right? And instead we drafted a slot and a safety. So you could make the argument that a wide receiver 2 and a defensive tackle would have been more useful. But the draft class is freaking great.
Besides our 6th round pick, everybody's contributed this entire season.
And actually, he did contribute because he started and he's got the only interception on the year for the Giants. Their 6th round pick, Muiso.
Fair then. So
And I
even
think he's
better.
playing a lot.
It's like the Aaron Ross draft class, basically, minus the Super Bowl.
Was that 2000? What was that?
2007.
Ross was what? 2000? No, wait. Was Ross
2008?
No, because that was 2007.
No, it's 2006 because we won 2007, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Craig, if we're winning, they're not going to talk about the draft class. Like everybody's going to roast Shane, but man, I think I don't see it. And again, like if you want to say the bad decision on the quarterback, that's fine, but he's not he's not the only
And
one.
he got
that's
paid in a
responsible for
corner
that
when he
pick.
made that decision. Saquon wouldn't fucking sign, so he had to make a decision right there. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest decision you could have made, but Daniel Jones sold us for a second. He tricked us. That happened.
And he has a 2-year out. And again, Jones called Mara, the deal's done. Shane was playing hardball with Jones on that contract. Jones calls Mara, the deal's done. It's as simple as that. Now, the other thing that makes it look bad with draft classes is when like because he was the number 7 pick, he hasn't played well, although he played pretty well against the Jags. Granted, it's the Jags, but I mean the Panthers. He went against Clowney, wasn't bad. If Neal starts playing better, that draft class starts looking a little better. But again, if we have 6 or 7 wins right now, nobody's bitching about the draft class.
No,
it's losing that makes everything look worse than it is.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line. Does he miss? Yeah, but every GM misses on certain picks. No draft class is perfect. Like the percentage is low, and Shane is actually higher than the average of hit picks.
If
So
you look at
he's
that
actually
chart,
doing better.
Yeah, he was in like the top 3rd of hits in the draft of the
Yeah.
last 3 years. Even though we've had like last year's draft class, you could say is the weakest of all of his draft classes, but still he's in the top 3rd of hits on his draft picks throughout his regime, which is 3 years now. So like he's done a great job.
Pound it out for
Yeah.
Tudo for that super sticker, by the way. Thank you, Tudo.
The other thing he does, and he does well, is how many times over the years has this fan base complained about GMs and the organization not pivoting or moving on from their mistakes? He has done that, and he's done it quickly, right? Like, okay, Zuda didn't work out. Boom, they brought in Hubbard. Hubbard didn't necessarily work out, so they brought a Luminor and then Neal over in there. They moved, they drafted Johnson after the Waller didn't work out. So even when he makes mistakes, which again, every GM makes mistakes, he doesn't hang on to him. He doesn't force.
It's the opposite of Gettleman. And Gettleman is exactly what we did, where you're just gonna do exactly. Hey, no, I drafted him to do this.
Yeah. How long do we have to watch Eric Flowers at tackle under the Reese? Like, and how many times did Reese draft it's instead of football
when you
skilled
lose
players instead of line?
When you lose, you're looking for instant gratification, right?
Absolutely.
The other thing is that so I'm down here, outside in New South Jersey, outside of Philadelphia. My phone's been blowing up nonstop because of Saquon's backward jump
That's
run.
tight.
And
Did
how
he win a Super Bowl yet?
No, but I will tell
Okay.
you this. Let's not forget, because all of a sudden, again, all these clowns out there like, should have paid Saquon. Do we forget we offered him a contract and he turned it down, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that money is how you got an offensive line. Saquon Barkley would have not done what he's doing now. He's running behind a top 5 NFL line now. And then don't get me wrong, we're not perfect, but I've said it a million times. I know you guys have heard me say it. I've tweeted it. You guys have responded. Some of you have not responded. By the way, what's up, Chris? I see Chris in the room. And wait, I missed another one that jumped in here. Big Blue. Oh, Elo's in the room. What's up, guys? Elo, I didn't forget you. I'm going to get to your Tibbs question in a second. Look, guys, that money that we would have paid Saquon, went to Runyon and went to Illuminor and went to GVR and these guys.
Offensive line right now.
Yeah, and Alex, 32 last year, worst in the NFL. I can't tell you I have ever seen the Giants have a worse line. Statistics will prove it.
Yeah.
32. They're 21 now. At least, last I checked, it was 21. That's a big jump for 1 year from 32 to 21. But that money went to paying for the offensive line. Saquon Barkley was never going to do anything there. So everything that we're talking about, the noise that's out there, the draft class stuff, it's just because we don't have a good quarterback to string together wins. We don't have a quarterback erases bad play, right? You give up a field goal, the quarterback throws a touchdown pass, it wipes away what the defense did, right? The running back fumbles the ball, you get the ball back, the quarterback throws, as a 10 play drive, wipes away the fumble. We don't wipe away any mistakes. Everything we do just gets compounded and becomes polarizing because we don't have good quarterback play.
And who has more
Mark
yards per carry right now? Is it Tyrone Tracy or is it Saquon Barkley? Just real fast before we put a bow on that, because I'm pretty sure.
Say that again, Alex.
Who has more yards per carry? Is it Saquon Barkley, the guy that got all that money, or is it Tyrone Tracy, who was draft pick this year?
That would be Tyrone Tracy.
Oh, weird. Weird stat.
Yeah.
Mark brings up a good point. Oh, well, just about draft classes, because I see the 2022 draft class getting a lot. When you look back at it, they had 5 starters as rookies as well. You still have 3 starters from that draft class. That's pretty good percentages right there. And possibly 4 if Neil can come back and start the rest of the year. So again, he didn't have his guys in place. Great point here, Mark. I just don't know why across the board people complain and say that for and Tibbs. Listen, Tibbs gets shit. But let me tell you what, since he's been, that running game has gotten worse since he's been.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Run defense has gotten worse since Tibbs has been out. So Tibbs had 11.5 sacks last year. So I don't know why the 22 class gets as much hate, because again, you had 5 starters as rookies and you still have 3 possibly from that class. So that's pretty good odds right there.
I saw something about Carl Banks had put out there, a question on, why does everyone down on Tibbs? Well, I mean, listen, I get it, but the thing is, you can't let it throw you over the edge, right? Because he's not Aiden Hutchinson. He doesn't have that, he doesn't have the quarterback hits. Their tackles aren't much different, right? But Tibbs he doesn't come through as a top 5 pick. So okay, maybe he was picked a little earlier. A little early. Again, what we always tend to forget is that Neil and Tibbs would have been drafted in the top 10 on 32 other teams. Like, you guys just keep saying, no, it didn't work. Then it wouldn't have worked for 32 other teams.
Yeah.
Kayvon Thibodeau, which is a nice player, and Cold. But I'm putting this up there because look, hey, Cold, you're spot on. Okay, look, I have a very close friend of mine, Cold, that lives in Oregon, watches Oregon football, used to work for Nike, used to see all these cats all the time. He literally said exactly what you're saying. He's like, the guy would disappear in chunks, right? He doesn't, his motor doesn't run, as you've just said, he doesn't run hot, and it doesn't. Can you imagine if it did? Because, like, again, what he puts out, he does contribute, right? Yeah, exactly, Cole. He was the same way in college. But Sean's right. Running game hasn't been the same since he's there. And coming full circle is the draft class. We're the fourth youngest team of the NFL. We don't have the experience. And as Sean was saying is, guys are going to make mistakes. They're young, right? They're going to get better. I mean, you guys didn't even know none of us really knew who Tracy was because he was a wide receiver in college. I mean, so we're again, we're just losing and everybody's angry. But like that old school, Cole, I'm going to do a get off my lawn thing here. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's some good things here that are building. It's just we don't have the quarterback play that makes it all look good. Right, guys? I mean, I'm sure you guys know where I'm coming from. But the draft class, putting the bow on is, I love the draft class. I love the 2002 draft class. If Neil had just popped, right? If Neil had just popped, we wouldn't be having a lot of these conversations. Hopefully now Neil is getting good coaching and he's on his way, right?
Healthy. Yeah, he's healthy.
Yeah, 100%, and he's healthy. Okay, so if DeVito wins, there's going to be some people that aren't happy, guys. Elo had a question about Tibbs coming back. So it was a 4 to 6 week injury, Elo. If you're still out there, I don't know if you are. If you want to drop in a comment, if you're still there, it was a 4 to 6 week injury. I have not seen anything about him returning yet, but he is going to return this season. It's just more likely you're looking at, week 12, week 13 than week 9 or 10. So I mean, from what I can see, and I'm sure you guys could all probably look it up, but it was a 4 to 6 week injury. So I think he's only 4 weeks in now, if I'm not mistaken. But he is slated to come back. Like they didn't shelf him like IR not coming back.
I think
so.
Colt said,
go ahead.
There's some good, and then we're talking about like strategies and Shane and all that. But I think my opinion of what's going on with the fan base is they're wanting things to be said in a way that they want it to be said, and they're missing what's actually happening, and they're focusing on the words or lack of words or whatever else, and they're miss what's happening. For example, the last 2 years, this roster has gotten younger. By the amount of starters we have, rookies we have starting this year, we're the youngest roster in the NFL. So
that seems
talk
good.
about a rebuild or what. You don't have to say rebuild. Just pay attention to what they're doing. Again, each year since they've taken over, they've gotten younger and younger, and they've extended their core foundational pieces. Andrew Thomas, they extended. Dexter, they traded for Burns, and they paid him at a prime. He plays a prime position. He's young, right? So you're building for the future. What people wanted was they wanted the quarterback, us to suck, and then build a roster around the quarterback. Well, what we've done is this next quarterback is set up for success. He's got a roster he can win with. Now they need to add pieces in agency. They need to add pieces in the draft because it's not perfect, but they're not as far off. They're not as missing as many pieces as possible. And that the quarterback that's going to take over, they're just coming into a good situation as opposed to, you think of what Justin Fields came into, right? Look what that did for him. Yeah. Now, if you get a young quarterback coming in, he's in a good position on this team. So people just want one way. They think it's one way. Pay attention to what's being done and not what's being said or not being said. And that's my rant.
And also, don't forget about the cap hell and everything that they had to inherit when Shane and Dable took over, because it was not a great position for either of them to be in. And they have, I think, like you were saying, they've successfully sort of navigated us out of cap hell. I know we get the Daniel Jones stuff coming up, but like it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse where they were piecing together a team that was able to make a playoff run for a little bit that first year with just pickups off of the free agency and off of practice squad and stuff like that. Like they've been able to navigate us where, like, I know we haven't won a ton of games, but like we aren't just like we're not the Panthers. We're not the Panthers.
Let me run through a couple of these. I'm going to hit real fast. One is JMS. Guys, you guys got to give up the ghost. I mean, the guy is a second-year player, and we have a rookie running back, averaging 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, JMS.
Okay. So what is the problem with JMS? Centers aren't sexy. Centers don't have, pancake numbers and stuff. And stop reading PFF. What you can say is, okay, a guy not named Saquon Barkley is running for 5 yards a carry because it starts with the center. The center's not getting blown back and in pancakes. Oh, and by the way, Daniel Jones was on pace to be sacked 34 less times than he was last year. Part of that is because JMS. You guys just want to he sucks on anyone that you can't quantify. Like, you're just like, well, he doesn't have a Dunkin' Donuts commercial. He must suck. I mean, come on, people.
Well, they expect everybody to come in as a young player and be great. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
He's a second-year player.
That's the thing, Sean. The guy got hurt for half the year, right? Last year.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, he played with 5 different guards last year.
Yeah.
1 year later, our running back is averaging more yards than Saquon Barkley, a kid that played wide receiver in college. How bad can JMS be? Oh, by the way, we went from 32nd in the league to 21st. How bad can JMS be? Just, it just doesn't
and he
make
started
sense.
the year with that shoulder injury too. Don't forget that. So he's come back from that.
Yeah.
And he's improved as the year went on.
I'll say this again real quick. Dexter Lawrence didn't become Dexter Lawrence until year 4.
Yep.
Because everybody bitched about that pick. Why did we trade for him? Why did we take him that high?
He was such a bum.
That's
such
all
a bum.
they
We
did.
Nothing.
So it takes time. There's exceptions to the rule, obviously, but the majority of people, it takes time. So again, I'm going to repeat it. Dexter Lawrence didn't become Dexter Lawrence until year 4.
Bookend tackles. We're talking about Tibbs. He says he doesn't have that left tackle dog mentality. I guess we're talking about. I think we're talking about Tibbs there. Bookend. And you're right. Again, I think I'm not throwing Tibbs out. I think he still can come. He is a little bit more of a finesse player, right? But because when you see like a guy like Chris Jones or Watt or Hutchinson or Myles Garrett, these guys got this motor, like as Cold was saying before. They got this motor that you think Tibbs should have, and he doesn't. So sometimes, but he can produce, and he does, right? It's just, again, it's like you're looking in the candy store and you want that. You're looking at that new freaking, CLK convertible in the glass window, and you're like, oh, I want that, right? He's not what we wanted, but he's better than what we had. And 32 other teams would have drafted him, in the first couple picks. So, yeah, Tony, we don't even need to get into that garbage. That was just a mess from the beginning. Spartan Mike's in here running the show.
And I'm not comparing these guys, but Tibbs is a Carl Banks like player, right? I think that's what was said. He's the Banks to the LT. Burns is the LT type. He's the high motor. He's the aggressive. He's that dog. Tibbs can have a little dog in him, but he's more of a Carl Banks type player. And there's nothing wrong with a Carl Banks type player.
But Carl Banks, though, I think the point is that Carl Banks played every down like it was his last down. Again, not the rabid dog, but right, but Carl was always in the right place at the right time, shutting guys down. Like our 2024 players don't play like that, which is what we talked about before. And I tweeted out today. Here's how this works. Players need to play above the X's and O's. When players don't play above the X's and O's, you have an average team. And then when you have an average team, okay, and your A players don't bring their A game every week, your coaches are on the hot seat. You have to look internally at guys that need to get the job done that don't. Some of them play half. Like, to me, like Carl Banks is on every play. I don't know if Tibbs is on every play, but I can't kill him yet, right? Because he hasn't not produced. He's done a nice job. I think he still has a higher ceiling, and I think Tibbs is going to be okay. Do I want to see more of a rabid dog? Yeah, 100%. Granzier. Oh, what's up, Granzier? Yeah, go Giants. Look, Tommy's in the house, Granzier. So maybe your Sundays will be a little bit better. Let's keep moving on, gentlemen. Alex, lot of I want you to give me one. I mean, it's nonstop with the Shane and the Dabes this week, right?
Okay.
All week long, it's basically like, are they on the hot seat? Is Shane throwing Dabes under the bus? Which is all a bunch of made up stuff. So, all that stuff. Oh, wait, hang on. Look at this. House MD. What does that actually mean? This team's dog shit. Let's put it up here. Let's how intelligent this guy.
House was a TV show, I
I
believe.
think
Yeah,
fans just have unrealistic expectations of players and rookies and second-year players. Like, I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't mind going against the grain or being opposite of what a lot of people think. That never bothers me. So
No, it is what it is. With reality is this: they offered Saquon 2 deals, he turned them down. Okay, you took his money and you bought an offensive line and went from the 32nd rank to the 21st, and you got a rookie QB that was a wide receiver's averaging 5 yards a carry, right? Alex, he's averaging 5 yards or
Right.
close to it.
Yeah.
So no, the team isn't dog shit. You don't have a quarterback that can make up for mistakes, right? And Shane, yeah, I don't even know why I entertained it. Sorry, I'm a dope.
because we're
I
welcoming everybody. We said Twitter GMs are welcome, so we welcome you.
This
Doesn't mean
isn't
we're not gonna-
Blue
I'm so glad
Sky.
you
We're not
said that.
censoring.
We're not. It's not like we're not going to pick you apart. You're welcome, and you. That's the whole thing, back and forth. It's all good.
Right. Say, why is that? How can a fan base get things so wrong, or are off on their takes on their team, not telling people how to fan, but we have access to team media like we never did before? Hey, look, this is a great comment. So, I'm gonna let both of you guys jump in here right after me. I'm just gonna say, Granzier, a great point. We still only get 50% of what really happens, right? You just don't get everything. Like you guys get crazy on Dable on his press conferences. What did you think he's going to say?
Right.
No one, right? Like
Yeah.
they're required.
Coach
by the
Like,
NFL.
fuck this team.
Yeah, these guys suck. Let me tell you. It's reality. The reality is you're only going to get so much. And you think you're getting like close to 100% of what happens. You're getting like 50% of what happens. Listen, I have a TB background. Let me tell you about how many times, and Alex will tell you, because we've been I was in radio too. How many times you cut stuff up to look a certain way? You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example. Alex, I'm literally going to speak your language right now. Okay. You got producers, right, that are in a booth on a radio show, and people are calling in, and there's a big board full of lines that come in. They're looking for the most off-the-wall comment they can find to pop that into the radio hosts.
It's the news thing. When you go to the Hurricanes, it's the guy that's wearing his boxers that's standing in 3 feet of water with the umbrella on that you're going to get on TV because that guy's the eyeballs. You're going to get guys watching that. You're going to get the clips. And now we're such a clip-generated world. Like, you're going to play the clip of the guy that's got the craziest take. And you're like, can you believe this is what Giants fans think? No, not all Giants fans. That's what that guy that called in thinks. Or that's what that guy that thought that he was going to generate whatever he was going to generate thinks. I think a lot of these are like hot takes that people just have to fire off. I got plenty of hot takes. But like sometimes people they're mad and they just got to let off a little steam. And you say stuff after a loss or after whatever that you don't necessarily think the next day, but you're just mad and you say dumb shit.
So take that comment and think about now all the morons that call in, as they say here in Philadelphia or outside Philadelphia, right? They put them on air because it's off the wall. It's something to talk about. It creates fodder, right? So you're not seeing everything. So how we're so far off is because we're always operating that 50% is 100%.
Mm-hmm. Think
about it. You're operating as a fan thinking that 50% is the whole. So we're yes, we have more access, but we still don't have what really goes on. You don't think that they cut up Hard Knocks to look a certain way, good or bad?
Right.
Yeah, we're not telling people how to fan.
No, that's what he's asking. Like, he's not telling people how to fan. He wants to know, because the problem is that to his point here, you have all these mock drafts teams, so they think certain names should go to the Giants. They don't understand how fit matters, fit with the scheme, all that thing's important. And then you have writers that honestly try to create drama, get clicks, gets engagement. So they push a narrative all the time. And and it's mob mentality. Let's be realistic here. It's mob mentality on Twitter, right? So it just, you gotta, I'll say it again. You're wanting things to be said in the way you want them to be said, but you're missing what's actually being said or not said or what's going on. Like, if something's getting done, it doesn't have to get done in the way you want to get done. It doesn't mean it's not getting done.
Let's stick to this, right? Let's stick to the narrative for the show. Sean, give me one narrative you heard this week about Shane and Dabes that just isn't based in reality.
Like, now they're throwing each other under the bus. Shane's going to throw Dable under the bus. Dable's going to throw Shane under the bus. Like, dude, their wives are friends. They go out to dinner. They're friends. They've been friends for a while. Like, they do things. Like, they're in agreement with what's going on. Like, Shane's not sticking players with Dable. You don't think Dable has input? Like, clearly he was high on Malik Neighbors. We all saw it. Like, dude, he was drooling over Malik Neighbors and the type of player he was. Who'd we draft? Malik Neighbors. You don't think that Dable had some input there? You don't think Dable had input because maybe he didn't like the other quarterbacks? Like, it's clear these guys are saying things together. They're not going to throw each other under the damn bus. It's just people listening and hoping for things and trying to create stories that's not there. It's crazy. Like, pay attention. Like, different than any other organization. Like, GM speak, coaches speak, coach speak. Every organization does it. And any coach who does it differently or bad gets fired. So why are we thinking the Giants are different than any other organization that's out there? It's all the same shit. You get taught what to say, how to say it. My God, I was a coach and I was taught and prepped what to say when questions were asked. As a player, you get prepped what to say and what to ask. Like, it's nuts.
Dude, that's so funny. You were going off right there at the end, and your screen froze up. It was funny because you were like, "Whoa!"
But like, people forget that like the Belichick era,
I froze my screen.
People forget that the Belichick era of the Patriots was like the last like 2 decades. Like that was exactly what they did. They're not going to tell you shit. They don't fucking care. They're not going to spill any secrets. They're going to make everything as tight and close to the vest as they possibly can. And that was a successfully run organization. So like, if the Giants are trying to do anything like that at all, they're not going to tell you all the drama. Why would they tell you that? Just so you can run wild with it? They're going to let you speculate. They're going to let you do all that stuff because some of it's going to not be true at all. Most of that's not going to be true at all. It's just going to be whatever you're spinning in your own head. I don't understand how people have seen all that for the last 2 decades and just are like, well, can you believe it? They're not telling us everything.
You know why? Because we don't win.
That also plays. I get that.
If we win, people just take for what you say. Put it this way. Same press conference by Daves in 2022, going to the playoffs. Take that same press conference now or reverse it, right? Press conference, 2024 press conference, dropping into 2002. You're like, that was great. He told us everything we wanted to hear. And you're like, that was awesome. And now you're like, this guy's got to go. This guy has no plan. This guy doesn't have anything. He's like, I heard a guy last night talking about, was on Big Pat Sports. He was just like, they have no plan. There's no teamwork here at all. Like, look, they're trying to keep all this together. It is not easy to run an organization when you are losing. And again, it's not a Band-Aid, but a quarterback. Look, right now, you guys think the Kansas City Chiefs are having a great year? You know, Pat Mahomes is all-time low in almost every category.
But everything else is good.
Yeah, but everything else is good. The defense is bailing them out, and they're running the ball. And Pat Mahomes is throwing for 9 yards a pass, right? They're finding ways to get it done because they have a quarterback. Right. Yeah. Jay, I'm with you. Big Pat's awesome. I'm a big fan. But he had a guy on here last night talking about, there's no real coach and there's no, there's no teamwork. I just don't see, that's realistic. Right. Yeah. And you know what? Well, I don't know what your point is, House, about Chiefs are 9-1, bro. I'm only talking about the quarterback. I'm not talking about the team.
He said the team. Shout out to Spags. He's giving a shout out to Spags.
Shout out to Spags. Yeah. Yeah, like, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I read that wrong then. Yeah, like, my bad, House MD. Does that mean like he's a house doctor that comes to your house when you're sick?
Or he likes the show.
Or he likes the show. Yeah, true. I like it. We're going to have to talk with the House MD about his And then SB, like Super Bowl 7. Like, who was in Super Bowl 7? I don't even know. That's probably like
Is that the Chiefs?
that's like 3 or 4. Somebody
Oh
tell
yeah,
me.
no.
Oh, Tim, the Giants are one of the worst
Dolphins.
teams in the NFL so far. Yes, they're having a crappy year.
Yeah.
It was the 72
Um,
Dolphins in Super Bowl 7.
But clearly we're not the worst because there's 4 teams ahead of us right now in Tankathon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I look at
there's
that
a-
way too much.
Was there like 12
uh,
or 13 teams that are like 3 wins? Like it's
I know.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like half the league is has over half the league has losing records, I think.
Yep. And Milan, West Coast, my man. Yes, the Chiefs have a system. The point, let me be a little bit clear, and then we'll move on from the Chiefs and we'll move on to another topic is this specific year is a different system. They are not throwing the ball down the field. They are seeing a lot of 2 safeties high, right? Right. They are not throwing the deep ball. So they've moved to short, quick passes and the running game supported by, as House MD Super Bowl 7 said, supported by a great Steve Spags, in his defense, which has changed because early in Pat's career, they were like, I dare you to throw deep. And he was throwing lefty, righty, underarm, backwards, just making people look ridiculous, right? And now people are running 2 safety high on Mahomes. And Reed is so smart and Reed is so good that he just migrated the system. It's just not the normal system, right? We don't have a quarterback, so we don't have this quote unquote system. Tom Brady said, stop having quarterbacks, learn playbooks, turn them in, turn them out, change your coaches, turn them in, turn it out, learn and play a system.
Let me say this too, Craig, real quick, because we're moving on. So I think this turns into it because I saw in here we have bigger problems than a quarterback. We do. And I saw somebody say earlier we were shills or whatever, but let's be realistic. A lot of these problems go back to John Mara. John Mara interfering with certain things is the reason why we're doing for 6 years. And here's why I'm encouraged that maybe he's starting to get it and letting his football people make football moves. For 6 years, he had a comment as often as possible when talking about Daniel Jones. When asked like 3 weeks ago, he didn't say anything. So maybe he's starting to get it. So if Mara can stay out of it, then I think we're in a better system. The problem is, to me, in my opinion, John Mara wanted to be like Jerry Jones. For whatever reason, he wanted to be like Jerry. And we saw what Jerry's been able to do. And he's been doing it, saying it, doing the things he's involved, all that stuff. So if he can stay out of it, let his football people do the football people, not like guys. Like he goes with his heart, not his head, if that makes sense. He's worried about popular.
That makes sense.
I think that, just to interrupt that, I think that a lot of like what happened from Hard Knocks, I think some of the fallout and some of the criticism that Mara specifically got from if Saquon goes there, I'm going to have a really hard time sleeping at night. And then he got all the memes. It's like, I hope Mara's having a hard time sleeping. I think he was like, I need to shut the fuck up and just kind of let my football guys do football guy stuff. And I think that maybe that was like a wake up call. And everybody was saying like how stupid it was for the Giants to be on this Hard Knocks. I think maybe 5 years down the line, I really hope we look back at this and be like, you know what? Mara figured it out. Mara was like, hey, I hired these guys to do a job. I don't need to meddle in that. That's easier said than done, but I'd like to believe that in 5 years we will be looking back and be like,
and I don't think he wanted to be Jones because Jones is the GM and Jones is involved in everything that goes on. I think, through the years, Mara has gotten attached to certain players like Shockey and Tuck and, and Eli and Jones and Barkley. He gets attached to guys, you know what I mean? So he lets his heart lead, right? And like you said, he kind of gets in over his head. But and we do every team in the NFL has more problems than the quarterback. The quarterback just erases bad play. If you have you know what I'm saying? It's at the end of the day, if the defense gives up a field goal, the good quarterback goes down and scores a touchdown, erases the field goal. If you have a fumble by your running back, the next series you come back and a 10-play drive by your quarterback erases it. Like, we don't have an opportunity to make any mistake on anywhere on the field because the quarterback can't raise the level of the team. And then your handful of superstars rarely play above the X's and O's. And that's just a fact, right? You every team has got, 5, 6 superstars on it. We have 1. Okay. Maybe 2. So those guys that are A-level players need to play like A-plus level players, right? Alex, is there a narrative out there that you think is just off the rails, made up, by
I kind of disagree with Sean, really, where it's like I think that everybody's looking at Shane being asked questions and then they're expecting him to have exactly word for word what Dable says. And so they're like, well, they're throwing each other on the bus. And it's like, no, they just don't answer things the exact same way that the other person answered things. They still are on the same page.
Milan, I'll put this up on here. Sean and I, we talked about this before. Yeah, Dable has a system, but he ran in Buffalo. He doesn't have quite the personnel to run it yet, and he's trying, right? He's definitely trying to do it now. Case in point, having smaller receivers run shorter routes and looking for Yak. He ran on Beasley and he ran on McKenzie, right? And the only thing that sticks out to me, and you've heard me rant about it, and Sean, I'll hand it to you, is that Knox, had a couple nice years in Buffalo when they were throwing to the tight end. He was a very athletic tight end. So go ahead, Sean, jump in. I know you and I believe the same thing on his system.
Yeah, he does. He just doesn't have the quarterback to run it. Listen, Rich Eisen is well respected in the business. He doesn't sensationalize. He doesn't try to, engagement farm or anything like that. Kurt Warner is a Hall of Fame quarterback who had to work his butt off to make it to the league to do things. So on that broadcast, and after the broadcast, they kept saying Daboll's scheming up plays. He's getting guys open. The quarterback just not seeing them, or he's choosing to throw to somebody else when guys are there. So you can't say that the system isn't established. It's the quarterback's not making the decisions to make those plays or do what's there. The quarterback, in my opinion, wasn't throwing to the tight end earlier too, because he didn't trust or have faith. And how many times do we know that quarterbacks won't throw to a receiver or whoever if they don't have confidence or trust in them, right? That had to do with it. So I find it difficult when you constantly hear, well, guys are open, this guy's open, this guy's open. And we say that there hasn't been a system established yet. We need somebody who can run the system at the quarterback position. That's the problem.
Good quarterback erases bad play. Just does. Right? All right, let's talk
Milan,
about
we're not getting on you. That's a good talking point, just so we're clear.
What's that?
I would say, Milan, we're not getting on you about it. It's a great question, great point to bring up.
Yeah, it's all good, Milan. No, I appreciate
just
the comment.
Listen, Irish Italian blood is flowing in me right now. I had a good workout today, so
yeah. And by the way, no, it's conversations that we want to have with you guys, and we're glad you're here hanging out with us talking about it. We're just trying to be, and I don't know who called us a shill, but that's crazy. We're just trying to, and if that did happen, we're just trying to be like, what's that?
Being a shill.
Well, he said we were getting checks. We're saying, yeah, he said we were getting checks. Dude, I wish I was getting checks. You think I'd be wearing this?
Checks for what? Wait, who said
Giants
money? Yes.
Same guy that said we were shills. He left the room, said we were shill, said the checks cleared. These guys are shills. They're obviously getting checks from the Giants organization. Dude, do you think I'd be wearing this right now?
Yeah. We're just trying to be as realistic as possible, because we've all been through it. We've got coaches in the room, players. You guys got media personalities. These guys have covered a lot of sports before, so trying to keep it real as possible. I mean, there are things that we all have our favorites, players and stuff like that, but there is some point where you got to be realistic about something, anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't just make up narratives that don't happen in locker rooms. The McLeod thing was wrong for, I think it was Pat Leonard, maybe, to ask him a personal question, and Burns let it get to him, and Burns, gave Pat what he wanted, which was bulletin board material that Pat could run with. It was I part of it I definitely blame Pat, and Burns should have never let that get to him, right? Because guys get cut all the time. I mean, all the time guys get cut. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to what we were talking about before. So on Monday, if you guys haven't seen it, we covered the top 10 free agent quarterbacks of 2025. It's a unique list that Chris and Sean and I looked over it with Sam Darnold was 1, Russell Wilson 2, Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco, Jacoby Brissett, Mac Jones, Andy Dalton, Mason Rudolph, Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota. The wild card was Garoppolo because he hasn't played in 2 years, so I totally forgot about him. We talked about it. If you guys want to see that show, I actually think it was really, really good breakdown, like ripping through each guy. And out of those players, guys, the only one that they voted on together was Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Carson Wentz were the only ones, not because they're great players. It made sense as a bridge quarterback to help a young guy mature. So with that said, there are 6 quarterbacks right now that have potential to be drafted in the first 2 rounds. Alex, I know you like Ward.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is there a guy? Okay, so if we are in a position to draft Ward, we know we don't want these guys to start day 1. We've got a list of quarterbacks.
I don't know that. I think that you are a big Kurt Warner guy. There is not anyone near Kurt Warner's like ability or whatever, or knowledge or experience that I would take over that. If we draft Cam Ward starts day 1. I think Cam Ward is our day 1 starter.
So let me ask you.
Shador, day 1 starter.
All right. So let me ask you though. All right. What happened to Murray, Lawrence, Lance, Fields, Manziel, Trubisky, Haskins, and there's Mac Jones. There are more first quarterbacks that start their rookie year that fail than don't. So why not we ensure it with letting him learn how to be a pro? I mean, listen, Cam Ward is by far should be the first pick in the draft, and he's got a cannon of an arm, but he's got terrible footwork. Terrible footwork.
It's fixable.
His 3-step drop. No, hang on. Hear what I'm saying though. His 3-step drop is 1.5. He's such a superior athlete than the people he plays. He doesn't really even need to have a polished game. He's going to need that at the NFL level. Why do we want Cole? Because he's having a good year. It's his he's not a great quarterback, but yes, he's having a good year. So my question is, why not let Ward sit and learn and get polished, learn to be a leader of men?
Justin Fields, who he also had his own problems, so he can tell you what the wrong things to do are, because Russell Wilson, who also makes his own problems now.
Well, that's what we said. We said that the list of guys, right? The only guys that
none of those guys seem like anybody. Like Darnold is it, but Darnold's going to be the Titan starter, or he's going to stay in Minnesota.
Yes.
Darnold's not going to be the guy.
The guys that we talked about that have value, not that are stud players or whatever. Darnold's never coming because one, yes, he's going to be expensive, but the biggest thing is he's been in New York already, and he's not coming back to a place that trashed him. It's not happening.
Different New York, but still,
New York's New York, dude. He ain't coming, right?
Different.
Writers to the beat writers, whether the Jets or the Giants. It's
yeah,
the same.
Russ. So Russell Wilson. We don't again.
Try, though.
There is right. Russell Wilson. I tweeted out today. There's literally a report from Sports Illustrated on how he is boys with his offensive coordinator. His wife and the offensive coordinator's wives are buds. There's a good chance he's not leaving, but he would offer a ton to the Giants to get us winning again and do something for Ward. All those other guys, I'm with you, Alex. None of them made any sense except for, like I said, we thought Carson Wentz had some value.
Nope.
Hang on. You're talking about his play. See, you're only because you're talking about his play.
Get him away from my team. Don't want him anywhere near there.
All right.
Don't want him anywhere near
That's
there.
fair. He's learning there. The reason I said it is he's learning under Andy Reid, and we know what Andy Reid does with quarterbacks.
Yep.
So that was the only
He's
reason I
changed
was
completely. But other than that, please keep him away from my team.
And he was an MVP candidate before he hurt his knee. It's not a bad choice for a guy who could still scramble and throw, run the system for a year and help Ward. The other one is, Marcus Mariota. He comes in. It's all he's here to do is hold down the fort and help a guy like Ward. That's it. Starting Ward there are more quarterbacks. And O'Cole said, okay, we could take Murray out if you guys think Murray's great.
Haskins, you have Dan Snyder, Manziel, Browns before they got Stefanski. But all of those guys had other people with problems. I feel like they were.
Yeah, but we are a team with problems. Good.
But if you draft a starting quarterback to be your franchise guy, I work next to Sean Salisbury, and Sean Salisbury is like always like, if it's your guy, put him in there as a rookie. If he's not going to work out, he's not going to work out. If he's shell shocked as a rookie, he's going to be shell shocked as a second year guy, as a third year guy. Like you find out, you sink or you swim, and if you adapt and you overcome whatever it is. You see CJ Stroud with the Texans. The Texans didn't have a great
outlier.
Look at
but
CJ
he's the
Stroud.
outlier.
Okay, then get another outlier, man. I don't know, like.
I mean,
another
we're
outlier.
literally
Just
talking about
throw him out there. Let him fucking ball. Let him ball. Let him ball. He's gonna learn. All right.
And
like
if he
wait, so the Daniel Jones safe thing forever, man. Like we gotta just go out there, get the guy, let him play.
It's got nothing to do with Jones.
Or you could look at what Drake May. Look what Drake May did in New England. They sat him for like 4 or 5 games. He came doing well. So but you could sit first 3 or 4 games. He learns how to be the quarterback of the New York Giants, and then he comes in after.
Okay,
3 games,
I would be open to that, but like a whole year sitting behind sitting behind one of these dudes, Carson Wentz. I don't want Carson Wentz starting over a rookie if Carson Wentz is brought in, and that's kind of that's what I mean. But like Mariota, okay, I can give Mariota 3-4 games, but like no, he's not long term, and I just don't think he gives you enough knowledge with a rookie quarterback to be like, do this thing.
Listen,
what did you do with Desmond Ridder?
He was like, yeah, but no.
I'm just saying, like he's been in that role before. It didn't work out.
But no, like all you're trying to do is win some games to turn this around and help the kid learn, because right now all we do is lose. And the majority of the quarterbacks that start as rookies fail. So why throw him into that pot? Because some of these guys are getting ruined. What?
Because he's not going to fail this time. Believe in your guy. Put him out there. We believe in you. Go out there. Ball. Cam will do it.
Maybe we should just
quarterback. Well, and he's also like he's coming into a like I mentioned earlier, he's coming into a better situation than a lot of rookie quarterbacks would come into. So you can factor that in as well.
No rookie quarterback that you want to do well should start anymore. It just proves it. I think
there's 2 of them. I think Milroe is the only. Like I think there's only 3 quarterbacks I'm fine with in this draft, and I really don't love Milroe.
See, I had to turn your mic off because you just said Milroe. I had to turn your mic off.
Let him finish and get what he was saying. He said 3 quarterbacks. Go ahead.
I mean, it's Ward, it's Shador, and it's Milroe. I'm
gonna turn your mic off again.
I can convince myself on Milroe.
Milroe should start day 1 though.
No, Milroe would be somebody that I would be okay sitting for a while, because Milroe I don't think is 100% ready. But I think Shador and Cam Ward, if those are one of the 2 guys you get, you keep those guys. Those guys are day 1 starters. Like I wouldn't touch the rest of them. I don't like Carson Beck. Carson Beck, get him away from me. Jackson Dart, get him away from me. I don't want any of that. Dude. Allaire, whatever the Penn State dude is, get him the hell out of my face. I don't want him anywhere near this team.
You guys, I can't. You guys just want to ruin guys. And you just said Milroe. Oh my goodness!
Because he's got a high ceiling. I don't think he's the best guy possible. He cannot
play quarterback.
I mean, I don't know.
Milroe needs to sit for
a couple weeks ago. He looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, he runs around beating up on teams. He runs around like.
You know who did that last year? Jaden Daniels. How's he looking?
No, dude, he could throw the football. Dude,
Milroe can throw he can throw a dime.
Are you ready?
Milroe can throw the deep ball. Milroe can throw the deep ball. He's just
ready, Alex?
On the other passes.
He has 40% less attempts than 44 other NCAA quarterbacks. He doesn't throw the ball. 44 other quarterbacks do more than he does.
But when he does cool shit, he's cooler than a lot of other dudes, and that's why I can be sold on him. All right,
and he runs fast.
Lamar Jackson, a lot of problems like that too. He's kind of figuring things out.
Yeah, he's very similar what Lamar Jackson was in college. And there's a lot of people that are saying that who do a lot of.
That's why I have a dumb brain, so I sell myself on that.
Yeah, it's good. Listen, Milroe's a guy that needs to sit for at least a year. He's a guy
at least 3 years, maybe 4.
I wouldn't say 3 years. I would say at least a year,
maybe 5. You know what? Trade him before you.
Listen, I watch every single game of Miro, and I'll be 100% legit on him. He is inconsistent. He can make bad decisions against really good defenses, and he has a strong ass arm. So if you can run and then you got that deep ball there, he can do some things. I mean, the NFL is changing a little bit where guys with speed out of the pocket, like again, not saying he's by any stretch of imagination. However, he can run and he's about as fast as Jane Daniels. And Jane Daniels is really fast. So if you got to get somebody, you got to develop a quarterback, and Daboll trust that Daboll can develop a quarterback, then do it. Nobody's comparing them. We're saying Lamar in college. Lamar in college had the same
Style.
stats, same whatever as Milroe does in college. Not Lamar now. Lamar in college.
I don't work without.
He's a high ceiling. Like, I'm not high on him. I'm not high on him. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's a guy you can develop. He's got traits. He's got things you can do. He's gotten better each year as a passer. And again, I watch this, so I know these guys. Like I watch him every single week, every single game. I watched Milroe for his entire career. So yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. Is he a guy? Is a guy that maybe you can turn something into? Absolutely, but he's
somebody's going to take. Someone's going to take a chance on him. We don't need a player that's a project. We don't need.
Who do you take if you don't get Shador or Cam? Then who do you take if you don't get him? That's like what other quarterback do you want in this draft?
It's so if you don't. Well, first of all, Sanders already said he's not coming here. Okay, because Daddy runs the show, and Daddy and the Daddy Ball says that he's got a list of teams that his son's going to go to, and none of them are in the cold.
That's cool. Okay, if he gets drafted here, he might go here.
So he's not coming. And unless
legally he will have to be on that team if he is drafted. Like that, I understand.
I know Dion
that, but like, okay, cool. Then you're not playing in the NFL, buddy. I hope you like the XFL.
Exactly, because if Daddy can't coach and Daddy can't hold his hand, so just think if Dable will be done in a year and it'll be Dion's show. But it doesn't matter because McCarthy's going to get fired, and Dion's going to be the head coach there. And Dion's going, and Dion and Shador
just paid Dak a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. He did get paid a lot of money.
Like last year.
Yeah, Michael Irvin's already calling for Dion to be the coach of the Cowboys. He did it at the Tyson Jake Paul fight. At the post presser. He was saying,
working.
"Hey man, Cole, I'm just calling it as it is. Cole, Daddy Ball's Daddy Ball, dude. That's all it is. If it, it's Daddy Ball." And let the kid do his thing. Let him. He's a man. Let him do his own thing. You don't need Daddy holding his hand.
Or does he?
No. Why would he need his father? The kid's his own guy. He's his own player.
College. He's never been without him.
Yeah. Well, I would hope at some point the kid wants to live his own life and do his own thing without living his daddy's shadow.
But look at
he wants to go to Vegas. He wants to go to Vegas because Brady's there, and Brady's been his mentor. I mean, that's clear and obvious why he wants to go to the Raiders, especially now with Brady being part ownership.
Archie Manning never
Archie
coached.
Manning did the same thing. No, he didn't.
But it was for our team, so it's fine.
Yeah, he did say his son wasn't going to play for the Chargers. So
but we're not talking about that. We're talking about coaching him since he was 9 and carrying him and carrying him along all the way through to 2 colleges and then making a list of places. He just said he don't want to play in San Diego because they small market and he sucked.
Listen, if we had to hire Dion to get Shador, hire Dion.
Oh, that would be
absolutely.
I don't know.
I would absolutely listen. Let me tell you something. What Dion's done. I get it. He's brash, but he is building culture there. He's building programs. He's done it without resources that he did in Jackson. He's doing a lot of good as a coach, and he brings good coaches. Look at his coaching staff there in Colorado. That's how high. Listen, that's how high I am on Shador Sanders. Shador Sanders is going to be a really good NFL quarterback. So if it takes us to get, and I like Daboll, we've already seen this, but if it takes us to have to hire Dion to get Shador, absolutely sign me on. Dion's a winner, Hall of Famer.
It's different trying to convince adults.
He's a winner. He's winning some games. Let's not get crazy as a coach. As a player, he's
first of all, how many wins they have this year? They have 8 wins this year. How many did they have? Before 3. He got there, they had 1 win. They had 1 win. 1 win before he got there. They had.
I didn't say. I said he's winning games. He just spent all that NIL money, dude. He got all those people, and he returned that whole roster over. They spent $20 million on NIL. He's got plenty of
that's
people.
what the college game is, and he's hiring great coaches who are
Yeah,
developing
but
players, and he's
Oh,
developing men. You have to be able to lead men. He can lead men.
But you have men in the
Okay.
NFL. Your team is already men in the NFL, so you don't really need to develop the men that you already have in the NFL. And
You got to
that's
develop
quarterback
players.
position. You do.
You do
At the
have to
quarterback
develop
position.
players in the NFL, and you have to lead men, and he can lead men. He's a Hall of Fame NFL. You don't think he knows how to deal with personalities? He was the biggest personality out there for
That
years.
doesn't. Yeah, but that
You don't
that
think he
don't
can
fly.
deal with? Oh, it flies.
Just
It
because you're a
flies.
personality doesn't mean that you can handle other personalities, or it doesn't mean anything. Just the guy's a winner.
He's not the
as
same
a-
Dion. He's not the same Dion he was as a player. That he's changed a lot. Like he's changed a lot. He's a
Now
much
he's just a
different
subtle.
Dion than
Now
he
it's
ever
just
was.
now he's just not allowed ego. He's a quieter ego.
He's what's wrong with ego? We need ego. We don't have any ego on this Giants team. None whatsoever. Give me ego. I will take ego. I don't care. We got a bunch of like nice guys. We need ego. I don't care. I really don't care. You don't think Dable has an ego, by the way?
He got
Oh,
an
has
ego.
a big friggin' ego.
Yeah, but
A
he doesn't
big
have
friggin' ego.
Yeah, but
He doesn't have what?
well, you can't compare those two egos because Deion Sanders is a Hall of Famer.
That's what I mean.
So your actual question was about what you do, right? The franchise is going to lose for another 3 years by starting Sanders and starting Milrow and all these guys starting as rookies. You're going to lose for another 3 years. So why don't we just strap it up? We'll come back in 2008 and we'll call it a day. Or, Alex, you find to bring a guy in that can win games, right?
Okay,
There's not many of them. Or you trade. But right now, the free agents at the time anyway was you bringing Russell Wilson in, or you're bringing a guy in that can win games. This franchise needs to win games. Free agents aren't coming in here to play for a rookie and this guy and this guy. Like, they want to come to play in New York with a winner. They need someone that can win games and at the same time groom the quarterback. It worked for Favre with Rodgers. It worked with Love. Starting these guys doesn't work. There is Daniels and May. Well, May sat for a couple weeks anyway. You definitely need someone here to turn the Giants around, or you're just looking at 3 more wins, 3 more years of losing. Like we saw, Collins did it, and did to Warner. There is no Warner out there. I get it. And then to Eli, there's nothing wrong with having the quarterback learn from a guy. Russell Wilson was the guy. They blew it by letting him out of the building last year.
Yeah, they did.
No,
I didn't think Russell Wilson looked that good yesterday. I watched that game. He did not look great, and he threw one of the worst.
He did have a bad interception.
That was awful.
Terrible interception. They didn't score a touchdown yesterday, and Baltimore's
No,
defense is
that's the
not
second.
good.
I think that's 2 games this year that they have not scored a touchdown, and they still somehow won. But like Russell has maybe the best defense.
And Baltimore's defense is bad. They give up 300 yards receiving or whatever it was to Jamar Chase. That's bad. I mean, I think I don't know who it would be, but again, if we want to put some hot takes out there, the Giants trade for a quarterback. Who that is, I have no idea.
Burrow. Just Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Art was saying it's Trevor Lawrence and all these guys, and I don't think any of that stuff's going to happen. But because you're going to
trade for Trevor Lawrence if you're the Giants, if you got the opportunity, would you give up for Trevor Lawrence?
You're asking me?
Would you?
No, I don't.
The Jags get the first overall pick. They're going to take a quarterback. What do you trade for? Do you trade for Trevor Lawrence? Because I think Trevor Lawrence. I haven't given up on him. I think you make him cut his fucking hair, and then you're like, all right, try it with the short hair thing. Let's see how that goes.
See, like I'm more of a short-term guy. Trevor Lawrence becomes your quarterback for the next 4 years. I'm more of a short-term guy. I'd rather find a way to bring in, Stafford or Cousins, and let them mentor and win some games to the new guy. And then maybe you're drafting a quarterback in the late first or early second, which could be Milrow, or it could be Dart, or it could be Nussmeier. And those guys, get groomed instead of just like saying, go win now. And then they lose for 3 years and then they're considered the next Trevor Lawrence. Right. So I don't want to go that route. Like I've seen a lot of this work before. So, if Dart, Nussmeier, and Milrow are late first, early second, if we're to your point is if you're trading, and a lot of people are just like, don't give up draft capital. Well, it hasn't worked for as far. So I'm just like, that wasn't aimed at anyone specific. I'm just like, everybody else complains about the picks. I'm just like, wait, so if I brought in Cousins or Stafford or I don't know, Josh Allen or whoever, Trevor Lawrence isn't the guy that's going to turn the franchise around to win games. And people are like, man, free agency, I'm going there. But like a guy like Cousins and a guy like Stafford wins games and people would come play here, and then he could groom your late first, early second round pick.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at Tankathon. I was like, if the Jags had that first overall pick and new coach, maybe they want to go in a different direction, even if they paid Lawrence. I think Lawrence is probably staying in Jacksonville, but I was like, maybe if you can get a Justin Fields trade or something like that, he's already paid though, so you're probably not going to get that.
Yeah, but again, same thing. If you go get Fields, he's your quarterback for 4 years. You're not drafting one.
Unless you sign him to a 1-year deal.
He ain't coming for a 1-year deal.
He's on a 1-year deal right now.
I know, but I'm saying his next deal is either another year to back up Russell Wilson, or he's too young. He wants to go get his next starting job. This is just a landing spot for him.
Yeah. The rumor out there is that Khan in Jacksonville is going to try to get Dion. And then if he gets Dion, he's going to have Shador. So here's my feeling. When you look at Trevor Lawrence, when you have, it's warm weather though, Florida, and Dion loves Florida. He played at Florida State.
Vegas or Miami?
There's not an opportunity in Miami. Don't listen. Money will talk. Khan's got money to pay. Money will talk. Let's be realistic.
not going anywhere in Miami either. They just re-signed.
Jags are never winning the Super Bowl, and Dion's only going to go to a place that has a.
I don't think Dion's going to win a Super Bowl as a coach either.
Well, beside him, he's not going to let his kid go to a crappy small market where there's no endorsements and they have no shot of winning the Super Bowl. Like Vegas, I think you said because of Brady, makes sense, right? Dallas makes sense because of the history with Dion. Atlanta, but they got quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, and they got Raheem.
Yeah. So I just.
Yeah. But to Alex's point, I would trade for Lawrence simply because he had Urban Meyer's rookie year. And then he's had Doug Peterson, who is, in my opinion, is extremely overrated. Now, Lawrence's athletic ability, his ability to run RPOs fits in with Daboll's scheme. He's the size that Daboll's like. Yeah. He's got the strong arm. Like, I know his stats, but when you look at that Jacksonville roster and you look at Doug Peterson, like, good God, like, maybe it's wishful thinking that like if he got with Daboll, he would be better, but I think he's better than what his stats say. Like he hasn't had a receiver either. Like I know it's going to sound like we're talking about our current quarterback, but he came out of college. He was the number one recruit. He was the number one draft pick. Like Doug Peterson is terrible. He's a terrible. Anybody says he's terrible. So maybe
again, I don't think we're going to trade for Lawrence. I was just throwing out hypotheticals if it was us getting another quarterback.
Yeah, you throw a hypothetical out there, absolutely. So but he was a guy, absolutely. So it's just hard because we don't know where we're going to draft. So like a lot can change from now in the next 7 weeks. So until we know where we're drafting, it's hard to really say. But I think it's really just Ward and Shador, the two guys. If you're taking Milroy, you're not going to take him as a high draft pick. You're further down in the draft.
Yeah,
like
you wait another year. You're going to go, honestly.
Yeah, you go BPA and then you trade or sign a vet or whatever it is. So we really, honestly, it's great. You're going to speculate, but until we know where they're drafting, we don't. Nobody knows anything of what's going to happen at this point.
And like I think a guy like Mariota, who can run that RPO, good guy. Teach a guy, all the ins and outs of being in a big market, help a kid out. But there's nothing wrong with, but listen, Dart is playing at Ole Miss and Milroe's playing at Alabama. Like these guys are going to be able to play somewhere. So like, there's no one that should be ruling out Nussmeier, Dart, Milroe. And then I don't know, I'm not a Penn State guy, but what's his name came out of nowhere. People were talking about him now.
Aller?
Yeah. Like,
no,
I don't see it,
no.
But again, the combine still has to go on. The bowl games still have to go on. Like these guys come out of nowhere. They just do. There were how many quarterbacks got drafted last year? We didn't think we're going to get drafted. Bo Nix, Bo Nix is kind of playing pretty decent football. He's not great football, but he's playing decent football. And with the right coaching staff, you can win like that. So a guy like Dart, a guy like Nussmeier, a guy like Milrow, maybe not Milrow. Just kidding. Those guys are also okay to draft if you want to move back from 6 to 12 or whatever and collect an extra pick. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just very similar to what we do every single year. Every year it's got to be Caleb Williams. How's that working? Or, it's got to be. I mean, look, the list. And here's the thing. I like Ward. I just don't want to ruin him. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
He'll be fine. He's ruined.
I know, but why do I have to throw that dice when I'm like, yeah, Hackenberg and Locke and Levis and Willis and Lawrence and Richardson and Fields and Lance and Trubisky and Haskins? It happens all the time.
And CJ and Daniels.
No, it's Daniels.
Really, what we've learned is just draft the second quarterback. So don't have the first quarterback. Don't be the first overall pick. Wait for somebody else to take a quarterback. Take whoever else.
What if they take your guy?
Good.
Yeah.
Well, then we
and
get
Dable was
Shador
going
and
to
we
take
make him
Daniels.
come here.
Yeah, Dable was going to take Daniels, but Daniels would have started for us this year had he had the opportunity to draft him.
All right, so let's wrap this up, guys. I'm going to give you guys a rant and rave. So I want to hear at least something that you're ranting about and something that you're going to rave about. Alex, I'll start with you. You get 30 seconds. You're on the clock. You get 30 seconds rant and you get 30 seconds of a rave. And I'm going to time you so we know exactly how long you got. Timer. Stopwatch. Reset.
All right.
Go.
I'm going to kind of rant and rave about the same thing. God damn it, Tommy DeVito is going to win us a game, and it's going to screw us in the draft. But just enjoy it and just be happy with the Italian and just be, cool with it. All right, guys? We're going to get to feel a little bit of happiness. Hopefully it's the Thanksgiving Day game. If we only win one game the rest of the season, just be happy that we beat the Cowboys for the first time in 111 games that we played them. So, that's what I'm hoping. What if he comes out and just kicks ass? Who knows? Yeah, it'll fuck up our draft picks. But trade up. If you really want somebody bad enough, trade up and do it. We did it with Eli. It worked out. Tommy, he's a savior, but he's also going to fuck us too, probably.
Okay. That was now give me 30 seconds of your rave.
It was all the same thing.
Oh, you combined them.
Yeah. Tommy DeVito, love him, but he's going to fuck us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean. I'm clearing it for you. Give me your rant. Give me your rave.
My rant is Daniel Jones is no longer our starting quarterback. After tonight, we should not be talking about him for the rest of the season. He's inactive. He's in street clothes. There's no reason to talk about him anymore. It's over. It's done. Talk about other things, please. No more Jones. No more Barkley. Shut the F up. I don't hear it anymore. No more. My rave is, man, let's have some fun with Tommy DeVito. Let's see what energy he brings to the team, right? Let's see if the level of play is elevated because guys are excited, they're motivated, whatever it is. He may suck, he may not make passes, but I want to see what the rest of the team does. How do they embrace him? What do they do? Let's see exactly. Are they going to be motivated? Are they going to be playing with more energy and excitement? That's what I want to see because I think that's what he's going to bring. And whatever happens, happens.
Love it. My rant is, please, for the love of God, just try to remember what 2012 to 2022 was like. Jerry Reese, sleep at the wheel, and Dave Gettleman. This is so far better than what we've had. It is definitely a slower process than what you would like. And there are mistakes that happen. Everybody would have signed Waller. Okay. All that stuff happens. Just remind yourself what the GM looked like. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Let them guys continue to build. I know it's slow. Okay. I get it. All right. The rave is just like the boys said, have a little bit of fun on Sunday. Don't be so sure that they're going to lose, that they don't get Cam Ward or Shador. Don't be 100% in that corner. It's not it's like, if Alex is willing to say he could succeed as a rookie, right? Starting, the other thing could happen too. Hey, we could get a guy and he and gets groomed, and in year one, Ward comes in and brings you to a playoff game. I think you guys just ought to just peel back a little bit and try to have some fun with football a little bit, right? I think you guys see that teams do bounce back faster. Don't forget that Dan Quinn makes a huge difference with the Commanders. And getting his guy with Daniels, those two guys will be tied at the hip now for the next 8 years, and they're going to win a lot of games. I'm hoping our guy, figures it out. It doesn't mean it's the same path. Okay? Not everybody's the same path. You guys were great tonight. Bang. Thanks for everybody hanging out for us. There will be a preview show on Wednesday with Chris and The Truth. Check those guys out. I have a special guest coming on. I finally got a chance to get us an interview. Think you guys are going to like it. It's coming up either the 1st or the 3rd week of December. I think you guys will be pretty pumped about it. And we will go from there. I can't reveal it yet because I'm still waiting on some details. All right, man. Peace out. Bow. See you guys next week.